All right, Oilers fans, listen up. The season's heating up, and there are some big calls to be made. Will the goalie lock down his spot with a new deal? And that's not all. The team's got its eye on a player who could be the next Brad Marchand, someone who might just flip the script for us. Plus, a former defenseman just opened up about what really pushed him to hang up his skates in the NHL. You're going to want to hear this one. If you bleed Oilers blue and orange, you already know what to do. Hit that subscribe button so we can smash the 1,000 subscriber mark and show everyone how strong the Edmonton fan base really is. Don't miss out. Today, we're diving into a topic that hits close to home and could shape our team's future in the league. You know how crucial the goalie spot is in hockey? It's no different here in Edmonton. Stewart. Skinner's been under the spotlight, but have you ever stopped to think about his journey so far? Over the past couple of years, he's shown a bit of everything. Some strong games, some rough patches, and a relentless fight to prove he's the Oilers' #1 guy. Looking at the last 2 seasons, out of 31 goalies who've played 82 games or more, Skinner ranks 10th in games played and 6th in wins. That's impressive on paper, but if we dig deeper, the story shifts. His save percentage sits at .901, and his goals against average is 2.71. Placing him 22nd and 14th respectively among those goalies. So he's not exactly the most dependable netminder in the league. Now, if we check out more telling stats like goals saved above average, GSAA, and goalie point share GPS, we see he's made some clutch saves, but overall sits right in the middle of the pack, put it all together. And Skinner lands at 15th out of those 31 goalies, a serviceable starter. Not lighting the world on fire, but not letting us down either. Interesting, especially considering his $2.6 million salary is well below the league average for a starting goalie. This 2025-26 season could be a turning point. His contract's up, and the Oilers have to decide if they're ready to commit long-term and shell out more cash or look elsewhere. So here's the question for you, Oilers fans. Do you think Skinner's ready to cement himself as our #1 and earn a fat contract? Or should management shop for someone else? I'm really keen to hear what you think. Don't forget to share this video on your socials. Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to keep up with all things Edmonton Oilers and NHL. Roll together toward the win. Now, you've seen the goalie situation, but hold tight because the next story's got some hot details about a possible signing that could change everything for our squad. Stick around, there's some heavy analysis coming, and you won't want to miss a second. Let's get real for a moment about what's ahead for the Oilers with the NHL trade deadline creeping up. The season's on fire, and Edmonton knows it's gotta stay sharp if we want to keep chasing the cup. But does this roster have what it takes to make that next big leap? Let's break down what the experts are saying. I followed a piece by Alan Mitchell from The Athletic who pointed out some key areas the Oilers need to improve in this trade market. He says the team still needs a solid upgrade, but don't worry, there's strategy and a long-term vision behind it. Mitchell highlights that the Oilers should take a close look at the goalie position, maybe bringing in someone who can give the team more security and stability down the stretch. Plus, there's a need for a winger with a tougher edge, the kind of player who can grind in the defensive zone and spark offense. Here's the kicker. They want a guy who brings more bite, more fire in every puck battle. That's something we missed, especially after losing Zach Hyman in last season's final. Hyman was a key piece in those gritty battles, always pressing hard. Mitchell also said the team got a lot more aggressive and determined, but there's room to grow. He mentioned relying on young guns like Vasily Podkolzin for energy and experience, but that might not be enough to reach the top. They need someone to bring that next level of intensity. You're probably wondering why they want more grit and toughness now. It all comes down to the tough series against the Florida Panthers. The Oilers lost steam and focus, while the Panthers showed up fast, young, and hungry. That's what cost us in the end. With Evander Kane headed to Vancouver, GM Ken Holland and coach Kyle Bowman will be scouting for a player who can bring that physical edge. Current prospects like Matt Savoy and Ike Howard aren't quite there yet when it comes to that kind of physicality. We're still early in the season, so it's hard to say which names might pop up on the trade market. Elite players usually only get moved closer to the deadline. Look at Brad Marchand's recent move. It shows. Just how much one signing can shake up a team chasing the cup. So here's a big question for you. Do you think the Oilers can land that extra bite and get stronger for next season? Will management nail it and build a more competitive, harder to play against team, that mystery star the Oilers have been scouting? It's bigger than you think. In the next video, I'll spill all the details about the impact this player could have. Get ready to be amazed and understand what's coming our way now. I've got a special story for those of you who follow the Oilers closely. It's been a few years since one of the franchise's most promising defenders last stepped on the ice, and that disappearance has weighed heavily on fans. Ever wonder what really happens when a key player vanishes from the lineup and only pops back to give updates? Stick around. Today's story goes way beyond stats. We all know injuries can completely change a player's career path, and it's tough on the athlete and the fans. When a player is out for a long stretch, rumors start flying. Is he hurt? Is he out of the team? Or maybe thinking about retirement? That uncertainty messes with us, and the truth is often kept quiet. For Oscar Klefbom, a former Oilers defenseman, that's exactly how it went. He hasn't played since the 2019-20 season, and the silence about his future only stirred more questions. Now, over a year after officially retiring, he's finally opened up about what really made him call it quits. Klefbom fought a tough, ongoing shoulder injury that kept him off the ice and forced him to think long and hard about what mattered most, pushing through and risking his health, or focusing on life after hockey, especially being there for his kids. He said it was a huge struggle. On one hand, I'd risk not being able to lift my kids or enjoy life after hockey. On the other, I almost wanted to risk everything because being on the ice is the most fun I know. It shows how deep his love for the game runs, but also how he put family first. Another interesting bit is why Klefbom waited so long to make it official. For him, it was a painful process to accept. I told the Oilers I wanted to keep things quiet about what was going on. It was hard to talk about. I wasn't ready to say I was done playing hockey, but now I can finally say it's over. Despite it all, he's happy and thankful for his career. It had its ups and downs, but he values every moment. I'm really proud of my career. I'm grateful I got to play as many games as I did, even with the injury. Klefbom was picked 19th overall in the 2011 draft and racked up 156 points, 34 goals, 122 assists in 378 games, all with the Oilers. He left his mark, even if his career wasn't as long as we hoped. Meanwhile, the Oilers keep evolving. After making the Stanley Cup final 2 years straight, the team's roster is shifting. Evander Kane moved to Vancouver, Victor Arvidsson got traded to Boston, and key names like Corey Perry and Jeff Skinner have changed teams to dot. So, what do you think about Klefbom's decision and all these roster moves? Can the Oilers keep their momentum next season? Drop your thoughts below, share this news with your crew on social, and don't forget to subscribe to stay on top of everything Edmonton Oilers and NHL. Catch you in the next video.